Today's word of the day is historical novel. It's a novel that has as its setting a period of history that attempts to convey the spirit, manners, and social conditions of a past age with realistic detail and fidelity. That is, which is in some cases only apparent fidelity to historical fact. Examples: the work may deal with actual historical personages, as does Robert Graves' I, Claudius, or it may contain a mixture of fictional and historical characters. It may focus on a single historic event, as is Franz Werfel's 40 Days of Musa Dagh, which dramatizes the defense of an Armenian stronghold. There are some historical novels, like Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace, that are of the highest artistic quality. Then there are many written to mediocre standards. There are even more than enough that make no pretense to historicity, but they use a setting in the past to lend credence to improbable characters and adventures. Yes, that means that just because they've told you it's in the past, the work or the story is believed or accepted as something that's true.
What does that sound like? Sounds like the Bible, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Although many people may disagree with this, some people may disagree with this, Christians may disagree with this, but we know that this is exactly how the Bible is written. They want to say that the Bible is a history book, and we have black people who would say that it's a history book of Africa. No, it's not. It's not. It's not even African. It's Mediterranean. Because the overwhelming ideas and things that happen, the historical things that are utilized in order to create this fictional narrative, are things that occurred in and around the Mediterranean, not necessarily throughout Africa. Egypt, yes, is Africa. Ethiopia is Africa. It's part of the continent. And the Middle East used to be part of East Africa, and it was Asia Minor for a while. It's changed names multiple times. But the fact still remains, the majority of this history is Mediterranean. It's things that happen and ideas that happen dealing with people in and around the Mediterranean area. Now, simply because historical people or historical events are utilized in order to create the narrative does not make the fictional aspects of the narrative true, i.e. your flood stories, your Jericho stories, your Genesis stories, your David stories, your Jesus stories. Just because it's centered in the time frame when Rome controlled Judea doesn't make the Jesus story accurate, because they use people who we can prove existed during that time frame, like Pontius Pilate, but that doesn't mean Jesus existed. There's no record of Jesus, no artifacts of Jesus or Yahshua, whatever name you want to give him. There are no artifacts of Moses, of Jacob, of Abraham, of Isaac. There's no artifacts of the Exodus story ever happening. Every time someone had tried to prove it, oh, they found chariots. No, that has been proven to be a hoax multiple times. And I have to keep telling people who come onto my lives that that is a hoax. Go look it up. Snopes first wrote that, and they tell you they're a satire page. So I hope that this word of the day, and go follow Paris Finest because she has a great page, will demonstrate that just because there are historical events doesn't make the story true. If that's the case, one of my favorites to use to demonstrate this to you is the fact that the Iliad and the Odyssey were written based on the Battle of Troy. We found the city of Troy. But does that mean that Achilles fought at the Battle of Troy and that he was a demigod? Does that mean that he was a demigod? Because if you accept the Bible as true facts, because it lists places like Jerusalem and Egypt and Rome and places like that, and you say, well, it's historical, it's true, it has to be true because we know those places existed, the city of Troy existed. So therefore, you must then believe that Achilles is a demigod, and you should give him his flowers. Argos is a place that existed. Heracles was the king. Did he go through the 12 trials? And did he ascend to the stars and ascend to heaven? You have to believe that as well. Y'all have a great day. And remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.